Hi guys, Dr. Mel here. We're busy with chemistry and the quantitative aspects of chemistry, which you will also find in textbook named stoichiometry, which means how many of each substance do you need to form chemical bonding as well as chemical reactions. So it's a very crucial part, and guys, you need to have your periodic table with you. You cannot do this work without having your periodic table with you, your pen and paper, and do every calculation with me. So after the lesson, you should have a nice summary of what's been said during this lesson. Right, let's have a look at two pictures which you might know. I mean, you're in matric, so you might even know what this is. What is the number of eggs that we have here? Well, your mom will tell you it's a dozen. So why do we work in dozens? Because we don't have to say every time 12 or 24 or 36. We can just say it's 1 dozen, it's 2 dozen, it's 3 dozen. Everybody all over the universe will know that 3 dozen will actually be 12 times 3, which is 36. We thus use a word dozen to actually explain a number. In this case, we'll call this a six pack, which is in actual fact a half a dozen. Six pack of Coca Cola, six pack of soap, six pack of, as I said here, Corona will actually be the number 6. Right. It depends in which world you are working in. If you work in a shop and you are selling shoes, you will not sell one and another shoe. You will sell a pair. And we know a pair is the word for two. So it depends where you've got this applied to. Even in tires, you can't just fix one tire on a motor car or a taxi or a vehicle. You always need to fix both of the front wheels or the back tires because they work in pairs. And pair in this case is two. So the word pair, the word dozen, means whatever number it constitutes. Now, what's happening with our periodic table? Remember, we've got our periodic table, and it's not dozens because we didn't take 12 hydrogen, 12 beryllium, 12 titanium. We didn't use 12. We also didn't use 2. We didn't take 2 nitrogen or 2 neon or 2 xylium. We actually used a different number, and we are going to look at which specific number did we have when we have compiled, when Avogadro compiled the numbers and Mendeleev structured the periodic table as is. Now, important, we will be using a scale because we're going to measure mass. And as in the previous lesson, we said we've got different masses. Now, I'd like you to quickly get your periodic table already because we're going to have a look at molar mass. Remember, we said a mole will be that number. So 1 mole, and have a look at your information sheet. The name on your information sheet will be Avogadro's number. And next to it, you will see a number like I'm writing down now, which is 6.02 times 10 to the 23. So if I had 1 mole of shoes, I will thus have 602, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 shoes. Can you see it's a huge number? Now, in order for us to don't get confused with this, we actually just use the exponential way of putting it, and then we use that specific number when we use with chemistry. As I said before, if you work in a factory where you are making shoes, you work in pairs. our socks come in pairs. So that industry will work with 2. If you work with eggs or bottles of milk, you'll probably work with dozens, which is 12. In chemistry, we work with a mole. What does the molar mass mean? Again, you go to hydrogen, you go to lithium, to sodium, and to potassium and say that will be, in all cases, in the whole periodic table, it will be the mass of 1 mole. So how many atoms will there be in there? 6.02 times 10 to the 23. Therefore, this is gram per mole. So you take 1 mole of every element in the periodic table, and if you weigh them, and remember, Avogadro used carbon and he said that's 12 gram per mole, and he then, relative to that, measured every other element. Right, get your periodic table. Have a look, what's the mass of lithium? Now, before you get to the mass, have a look at the block. You'll see a number there, and you'll see the symbol. Now, that number for lithium is 3. So, go to element number 3, and now have a look, what is this number down there? And if you have a careful look, you'll see it is 7. What does it mean? 7 gram per mole. So if I measured 6.02 times 10 to the 23 atoms of lithium, it would make my scale go to 7 gram. Sodium will be element just below lithium, 11. If you have a look at the molar mass of sodium, you'll get 23 grams per mole. And again, if I put 6 times 0.2 times 10 to the 23 atoms of sodium in a container, I will have a reading of 23 grams. Potassium, just below sodium, element number 19, and if you have a look, you'll find 39 gram per mole. So this reading will be 39 gram. How many atoms of sodium did I have? 6.02.10 to the 23rd, and this will be exactly the same for potassium. So this would be 6.02 times 10 to the 23 atoms of potassium will weigh 39. Let's continue. Iron, copper, and gold. See quickly if you can find those elements on your periodic table. It's in the middle, so have a look. Just for those who forgot, iron is Ferro, copper, Cu, and gold, which we don't often use, Au. See if you can find those 3 elements. Quickly have a look at your periodic table. Can you see iron is number 26, and the mass at the bottom is 56. What does it mean? 1 mole of iron will have a mass of 56 grams. Copper. Copper is element number 29. Can you see the mass is 63.5? Again, that's the mass of 1 mole. So this will be 63.5 if I have 6.02 times 23 atoms of copper. And gold, you'll see it's very, very heavy. It's got the number 79. I'll weigh it and I'll see it's 197. it will thus be 1 mole of gold. It will be 6 times 0, 2 times 10 to the 23 atoms. That will be 197 grams. Now, if we have a little picture of this, I've got iron in here, so they will be smaller. How many of them will I have in here? 6 times 0, 2 times 10 to the 23. Can you see the copper is a little bit larger? How many of them? Exactly the same. And then gold, can you see that mass? So they'll probably look something like this. But in each of these 3 elements, I had exactly 6 times 10 to the 23. Or very accurate then, 6 times 0, 2 times 10 to the 23. So that's the one common factor in the periodic table. Each element has a mass for that number of atoms. Right, let's have a look at the molar mass of. I'm giving you CH4, which is methane. What is the mass of methane? You've got 1 carbon and you've got 4 hydrogens. So the hydrogens will be 4 times 1008, which will be about 4. That would be 12. So 1, and remember, 1 mole of CH3 will have a mass of 16 grams, or 16 gram per mole. Important, guys, that you always remember you are working with a mole. Let's have a look. If I'm saying I've got 1 mole of atoms, let's say for instance iron, I've got 1 mole of, let's say, sodium chloride, and I've got 1 mole of sodium and chlorine atoms. I'm saying to you, I've got 6 times 0, 2 times 10 to the 23 atoms, because I've got 1 mole. I've got 6 times 0, 2, and now it's molecules. And here I've got 6 times 0, 2 times 10 to the 23, and be careful, sodium ions, but I also have 6.02 times 10 to the 23 chlorine ions. Now you can see here, I've got 2 of them because 1 sodium chloride actually gave me 2 sets of ions. So be careful that you have your correct bonding. Remember, we did bonding, and if that's not correct, you're going to have some errors here. So the unit is usually gram per mole, and we're working with the molecule. So important, if you take a half a mole, I would actually multiply that with a half, or I would divide 6.02 with 2. So you could do that kind of calculations, and they'll often ask you questions with that. Let's have a look at the diatoms. Now remember, previously you learned the names of the diatoms. I'm quickly going to show you again. I bring clay for our new home. So that's your little story that you tell yourself. Why do I do that? To remember, it's iron, iodine, it's bromine, it's chlorine, it's fluorine. Now, you know these 4 will be in this group, which we call the halogens. Guys, remember, they cannot be on their own. They'll always bind to something, whether it's to themselves or to something else. So we'll have fluorine, that will be chlorine and bromine, which will be a di. The word di means two. What's the other? R, oxygen, new nitrogen, and H, hydrogen. So what is the molar mass, for instance, oxygen? Well, one oxygen, if you have a look in your periodic table, will have a number of, let's say, 16. But you know oxygen will be a diatom, so it will be 2 times 16, because it'll look something like this. This one will be 16, that one 16. Therefore, 32 grams per mole. And when we get to a chemical reaction, you will be able to use these hints that I've given you now. I've got diatoms, I've got hydrogen here, I've got oxygen here, and it forms water there. The first thing is you have to have a look, do you have a balanced equation? Because as it's now, you've got 2 hydrogen and 2 hydrogen forming, you've got 2 oxygen, but you only have 1 oxygen coming out. So you need to balance your equation first. Be careful, it won't be asked every time. If you put a 2 in front of the hydrogen, I've got 4 hydrogens going in. If I put a 1 there, I've got 1 oxygen, but it looks like that. So it's 2. And I've got to put a 2 there, which means I've got a hydrogen to 2 hydrogens on every 1 oxygen. Can you see I had 2 like that, which is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I check and I see my oxygen, I've got 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, what does that mean in terms of the quantities? I've got 2 moles of hydrogen plus 1 mole of oxygen, and it'll give me 2 mole of H2O. And you see here, I spelled it that way and that way. You can use either, because you'll see in your textbooks they use either of those. 2 moles of this, 1 mole of that. So can you see, when you balance an equation, that number in front actually tells you how many moles that you use and made in your reaction. So the reactants and the products have a certain quantity. Let's have a look at a more complex reaction. I've got sodium carbonate. Now, remember, earlier in the year, you did sodium with a charge of +1, carbonate with a charge of -2. Can you there see why I've got 2 sodiums? Because I've got -2 there. So I've got sodium, 2 of them. I've got a carbon, 1 of them. And I've got 3 oxygen. I add hydrochloric acid. So I've got 1 hydrogen and I've got 1 chlorine. I'm forming 1 sodium and 1 chlorine, because that's sodium chloride. I'm forming 1 carbon with the 2 oxygens, which is carbon dioxide, and I'm forming 1 oxygen and 2 hydrogens. And now you can see I only put in 1 hydrogen and I'm getting out 2, and I put in 1 chlorine and I'm getting out 1 there. And now I've got a balance, so I'm going back to my equation and I'm going to balance it. I'll have 1 sodium carbonate plus 2 hydrochloric acid, and I'm going to form, can you see here, we had 2 there and only 1 here, 2 sodium chloride plus 1 carbon dioxide plus 1 water. Be careful, balance first, and then from there we can actually say I've got 1 mole, 2 moles to form 2 moles, 1 and 1. A final reaction. Let's draw the molecules and atoms. I've got peroxide. So I've got an oxygen, another oxygen with a hydrogen on each of them. But I have 2 of them. So I've got another peroxide. Can you see? I'm taking the H's with green and the oxygen with orange. And I now have to see what I have. If I had a pair, can you see? This is what we would have formed. I'm now forming the water. It's got an oxygen and it's got a hydrogen and another one. And you see I've got that one, and that one now. So I'm going to form another one. Let's see there. And the 2 hydrogens. Now then, I've got that one. And can you see what is remaining? I've got this oxygen and this oxygen, which will then form this oxygen molecule, a diatom, and it's balanced now. So what does it mean in terms of moles? 2 moles of peroxide giving me 2 moles of water plus 1 mole of oxygen. So this is the mole, and you know now exactly how many atoms and molecules I have. So you have to be able, guys, to know what is 1 mole. Always go back to your definition of relevant to the carbon 12. It's relative because it's measured against the carbon. You have to know you've got all the molar masses on your periodic table. You just have to work accurately, and then you'll have to do calculations with that. We're going to go to the next slides where we're going to work with volumes and number of particles, and then we're going to really go to reactions. I hope you enjoy chemistry. It's fun. Bye-bye.